Alright, let's go into justyourhay.com, more than 100-ton search. There's basically going to be 3 different searches on the site. When you go to hay listings, it'll say hay listings right at the top. When you put your mouse on that, it should draw down 3 windows. One window will be less than 100 ton. That's for the small guy, the guy that just needs 1 or 2 loads, whatever, small cow guy. Then you got your more than 100 ton search, which is the feedlots, the dairies, the bigger ranches, etc. Okay, go to it. You click on it. I'm going to try and show you how simple the system is. I wish this was brighter, but it's not. Hopefully you can see it good enough to tell what it is. Once you get to the website, you'll be able to see it real plain and clear. But this is your search page. Now you can be very specific or leave it broad. But if you're short on time and you need to make this work, which let's take for example feedlot manager. He drives up in his pickup and he knows that he's 10,000 tons short on hay. Okay? Or he's 2,500 tons short on hay. Okay? He needs to buy a contract. He needs to buy a contract today. He doesn't have any time. No spare time. Alright, when he gets out of his pickup, he should be able to get right on his smartphone, right? Go right to our app, because there is an app for that. Alright? He can say, hey, feed type, I want alfalfa. Check that box. I don't care about the radius, the quantity. I'm 2,500 tons short, so I'm going to hit right that box, and I'm going to hit that box. Okay? Let's see, I just need cow hay. I need 130 to 150 RFV hay. Check that box. I don't care what cut it is. Bale size, hey, we only like to deal with 3x4s and 4x4s, squares, at this facility. I don't care if it's stacked outside. Hell, it's going to be stacked outside here. It's in the barn, great. That's all he's got to do. Search. Okay? The next page is going to pop up. That should have took him about 2 minutes. Maybe less than 2 minutes, a minute and a half. Okay, next page that pops up is this page right here. It says justyourhay.com. It'll say logged in as. That's who you are. That's your login will be right there. It'll say hay type. He looked for alfalfa. It'll say miles, radius search, and a zip code. Okay, on this side, it's going to have your name that you're logged in on. That's your professional name. It'll have a company name, corporate name, whatever, whoever you signed the contract as. The address, the city, state, and zip, and a contact. That zip is what all the mileages are going to be figured off of. Alright, this here is going to be your search pages or the result pages for your 100-ton or more loads. Okay, this key, I don't know how well you can see anything, but the key at the bottom will be there all the time. So anything that you have a question in, abbreviation, etc., you just have to go down there. You don't have to, like a lot of other sites, back out, go find their key. Remember what you're looking for. We're trying to make it easy. Okay? Basically, it'll give you 10 results. It'll say right there, 10 of 52 results, okay, for what you posted for. We go back to the guy, the feedlot manager, that's looking for 2,500 ton of straight alfalfa hay, testing 130 to 150. Okay? This post date, this column right here will tell you what date we contracted that with the producer. The distance will be the distance that it is from their farm to that zip code, whether that be your zip code or if you manually went in and changed that zip code. Okay? Every farm will be given a number. So it won't say McKinney or anything like that on it. It will say Farm 742. The size of the bale, 3x4s or 4x4s. Stacked outside, description cow hay, which means your 130 to 150 test hay. The tons that are available on the contract. So this contract may say 1,500 tons. It'll tell you what cut it was, what the RFV was, protein, ADF, moisture. Excuse me walking in front. It'll say the price. The price will be what the farm has priced the hay plus our $7. So if the farm priced it at $7 or priced it at $200, that price will read $207. Okay? The freight. I've already told you what my freight rates are. When it calculates the miles, it will automatically calculate that times that amount, and it will tell you what the freight is going to be on that hay. Which brings us to the best column, the column that means the most to most people, is that it's your cost per ton delivered into your yard. This will tell you this hay is going to cost you $256 sitting in your yard, or $217 sitting in your yard, and the total cost. Okay? That's what all those columns mean. You can either change, it'll have listed, and these are options. You can either have it listed from the top to the bottom by price per, the RFV, the post date, or the tons. It's just depending on what's more important to you in that particular day, in that particular situation. But say that guy, that farm, feedlot manager, he's wanting to do this fast. It took him 2 minutes to do the search. It's taking him 1 minute to come up to here. Now he knows that all this doesn't really matter because he knows that it's all going to fall into the criteria that he searched for. So basically all he's worried about is this number right here. He can come from the cheapest and work his way down. Okay? You click on this contract right here, and it's going to come up to the next page. It'll have the contract with producer's contracts blacked out. Okay? So basically it's going to have your hay contract listed right there. Of course your name and everything as you're logged in is going to be still right there. You're going to scroll down. Hopefully the machine works right. And you'll have your 2 pictures of the hay. I want 1 picture. All my reps are assigned to take 1 picture that you can see the leaf retention of the hay, and 1 picture of what the stack looks like. Okay? Then on this side of the page, you will have the test results back from Olson Labs. Scroll down, and the next will be a summarization of cost, description, and everything from that search page. Okay, now when you looked at their contract, if they have any exclusions in there, take for example, go back to the nearest scale is 40 miles away. That's where you'll find that. You'll also find it in this summary. All those things are going to be listed. Okay, this farmer only wants to load trucks on Sunday and Monday between 1 and 2. You know all that going in. If you like what you see, great. If you don't, go back up to the next one. Take the next one. If that matches your criteria, you can deal with whatever exclusions he's put on there. Some of them may not have any exclusions. But if you can deal with that, great. So you say, hey, that hay looks like it'll work for me. You click Add to Cart. This is what's going to come up. You're going to need to decide or check to make sure the date's filled out right, the farm is filled out right, the contract number's right, your name as buyer is right, your address, your city, state, zip, the bank that you use, your bank rep's name, the number, the shipping address, where it's got to go to, city, state, zip, and a contact number is filled in there. You put in your desired ship date. You want to start tomorrow, or you want to start next week, or September 1st, whatever. Total tons on the contract, estimated number of loads. That will be figured out on 22 ton on the average load. Some are going to vary. You all know that. Okay, here's where you decide, do I want it delivered or do I want to pick it up at the farm myself? You know what my freight rates are. If you can beat them, you have trucks of your own, you have a trucking company that works for you that'll haul it cheaper, get it. Do it. That's great. Doesn't bother me a bit. So if you deliver, you mark delivered, we get $2 a ton for the service. Okay? If you want it picked up at the farm, doesn't cost you a dime. Then you decide, hey, do I want it tarped or do I not want it tarped? If you want it tarped, it's going to cost you $25 a load. Y'all know that's what a driver's going to cost, if not more, but that's what it's going to cost you. If you don't want it tarped, it doesn't cost you anything. Okay? Meanwhile, every time you make a change, it's doing its own calculations over here, and it's going to tell you the hay price at the farm, the delivery service. Now, if you said you pick it up at the farm, that's going to say 0. Delivery cost, 0. Tarping charges. If you put no tarp, it's going to say 0. Total cost will be carried down from the hay price straight down because you're picking it up at a farm, you don't want it tarped. Okay? Then it will calculate 20%. That's your down payment. Okay? Alright, now it's going to ask you, before you can go on, there's going to be a little box right here, along with I agree and have read all terms and conditions. Okay? That means that you have read over all the contracts you've done with us, you've read over all the contracts that the producer has put in place, you agree with everything, you're good with everything, the terms are good. You click that box, and once you click that box, this box will light up. Click Confirm Order, and this will be the next page that comes up. It basically re-summarizes everything that you've just done. Alright, now we're going with the example of the feedlot manager that needs 2,500 tons. That last contract, this contract right here, was 1,500 tons. So he needs 1,000 ton more, right? Alright, all he has to do then is push Continue to Shop. It will go right back, and he can start his search over again. He can buy the next simplest contract, right? And in the middle, you'll see on those first pages, it'll have a place up here, in cart. And it'll tell him how many tons and what he's got money in that cart. Okay? Alright, so he's done all that. He's come back through. He's done. He's got his 2,500 ton. He'll push check out. Once he checks out, this page will appear. It's an order receipt. Now, just for giggles, it took him 3 contracts to fill that 2,500 ton. Each contract will list out the contract number. It'll have the farm that it was bought from, the tons, the estimated loads, price, delivery, tarp, and delivery pick date. Okay? And all your totals. Okay? Now it's taken all of these and it's added all them up in this corner. And now it'll have your total down payment of what's due. Okay? So if it's $256,370, that's what you got to pay up front. Alright, now what you have basically done is you have put those contracts on hold. You have 24 banking hours to get us the money. Once we receive the money, we're on to the next step. But it will tell you wire down payment must be received by date and time, and it will give you the time to the minute that you have to have it in. Okay? Now, once this is done, we've received your money. 3 things are going to happen. Or possibly 3 things. 1, you will be sent an email as the buyer saying, here's your contract with his side filled out, your side filled out. You need to sign that and send it back to me. The deal is done. Okay? The buyer or the producer will get the exact same contract. Honey, your hay's sold today. That's all that producer will hear when he walks in the door at night. Okay? He's got his copy of the contract now. He knows who bought his hay. Okay? The third thing that will happen is if you ask for delivery, we'll go to our Just Your Truck here in just a minute, and that email will go to that site there. Alright, that's all on the greater than 100 ton loads. It's really simple. Once you see it, it's really simple. The less than 100 tons, I'm going to walk through this pretty fast because it's basically the same thing except for one thing. They have a little different search radius, not a whole lot. The next page is their page. It looks pretty much just like the greater than. The only difference, and I'm going to get to it, the machine will get to it, is right here. Okay, they have an option for a credit card purchase or a wire transfer purchase, and one that's not added yet is PayPal. Anything that they do must be paid in full before it's released. Okay, so if you buy 1 load off of there, you buy 4 loads off there, 100 ton, you've got to pay for it 100% up front before it's shipped, before the contract is done. Okay, so it will give the total prices, blah blah blah, same thing. I agree to the terms and confirm order. They have the same deal. We have to receive their money within 24 banking hours. Okay, if they use a credit card, it's going to cost them 3%. We're not finalized yet with the PayPal, but I believe it's going to come in at 1.5%. Wire fee is whatever your bank charges you. Doesn't cost me nothing. I'm not asking you to pay nothing. Okay? That's less than a 100-ton load. Now, if you have special delivery instructions on that, your neighbor's going to unload it. He can only unload it on the weekend. That's what you put there. Because I'm going to have a representative that's going to be more in touch with you to make sure that your special needs are met and that everything goes smooth. So he needs to know that. Alright, we should move right on. You did it all. That's your confirmation. Same thing as everybody else. Okay, gives a resummarization and gives them their time and date when they have to have in. Basically the same.